Well, my name is Mike Lewis. I'm a firefighter, paramedic down in Kansas. What brought me to Warriors Ascent was a very good buddy of mine. Um, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about him, but Brian Russo. Um, I grew up, well, I didn't really grow up with him, but his son and my son played baseball together for a couple of years. And, he told me about the Warriors Ascent program and what it did for him. And he saw that I was kind of going down the same path that he was with, the self destruction and the alcohol, and told me that I should go into it and, you know, get a better perspective on life and how to deal with everything that I was fighting alone. So after he passed away, it was one of the biggest ones that, that was the challenge that I did. It was enroll in the program and got in, and that was the rest was history. So Monday morning when I was taking the drive, it was about a 2.5 hour drive. Um, and I promised myself I wouldn't get choked up on this, but I dropped my little 8-year-old girl off at school Monday morning, and I knew that that was the last time I was ever going to see my kiddos because I wasn't so sure if Warriors Ascent would work. I had a lot of doubts, a lot of self doubt. Um, I actually found a guardrail that I could hit. That way, I wouldn't have to come home and be looked at as a failure. So, um, I got up to Warriors Ascent Monday morning. There was a lot of guys kind of standing out in the parking lot. And as soon as my truck hit the dirt road or the gravel road, at that point in my life, I knew that one, I made the drive up here. I need to be 110% committed, not only for myself, but for my kids, because they need a dad that's going to be there, that's going to be present. So when I walked up there, I knew at that very second I'm 110% committed because I have to go back home because I have three kiddos that rely on me. I got a dad, I got a brother, I got a lot of colleagues that look up to me. So I knew that I had to give it everything I got. Thankfully, I had a guy that I knew, Braden Moore. So it wasn't as scary walking in to the Heartland Center by myself. And then we walk in, and there's 11 other guys there that nobody would look up. Everybody was looking down at the tables, kind of in front of them. And then we met Mike. He came in, and the just the presence of him being there was like, man, this guy means business. Like he knows what he's talking about. Like, why does this guy care about 12 random strangers? And then we met the staff, Tammy and Christy, and then we met the granola guru, as we call him. He's got the long hair, the barefoot, the khaki cargo shorts, and we're all thinking there's no chance in hell they're going to be able to help us. And from the second you guys started to talk, you just grabbed our attentions. And one of the very first things I'll ever remember was when all of you guys told us that you appreciate us and you love us. That was when I knew that, all right, I can trust these guys and the process of what they're doing, all while trying to figure out what, like, your guys' approach. Like, you guys had us figured out the second we walked in the door, but we couldn't figure you guys out for anything. And I remember talking to Huck that, hey, I'm trying to, like, systematically, like, pick these guys apart to figure out what they're doing and how they're doing it because they're not throwing meds at us. They're not throwing, all of the typical, like Mike calls it, pixie dust at us. It was real. It was, sitting down and listening, and there was zero judgment. We have, like I said, the 12 guys in cohort 49. We come from a vast background, military, first responders. So it was a room full of type A people. So Monday, it was all, we're failures. We don't amount to anything. Like, here's why. Like, this is just gonna be a waste of time. And then Monday night, let me back up. We started doing more yoga, and I remember sitting next to Mario, which when you see that guy, he can like bench press 2 semi trucks, which was awesome. He's one of the brothers that we call now. And then Tuesday we started to keep going, and then Jeff walked in with a bright pink hoodie, and I was kind of thinking, there's no way that this is gonna work. And when he was able to like read our minds, I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about. So again, I bought into him, and it was just the whole process. It was just me buying in. And then for me, Wednesday was the transformation, I believe, that really hit home for me because I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. Um, when I ran my mom, the night my mom died, I made a promise to her, and that promise wrecked my world because I put so much pressure on myself, and it was after every death that I ran within my line of work, it was, oh, I failed that family and I failed them. And Wednesday, I was able to take all of those failures and completely get rid of them. And when we were able to climb the tower and take a leap, and for the split second that I was dangling there up in the air, like I felt free. And I came down and I'm like, this is what it's about. This is how I'm supposed to feel. There's no more failures. There's none of that negative thought. And then it just progressively gotten better. Wednesday we all came together as a group. One, because we had to move from the cabin over to the other house, which I think really helped us. Um, and then Thursday, we got up. Nobody's looking at the table when we got to the Heartland Center. We're all looking around. We're joking around, laughing, having a good time, um, and just having a great time. As the cohort that we've become, we have gotten really close. And then Thursday we did the same thing. We kind of reprocessed everything and really retrained our minds to be able to get in that system 2 thought process. And if you jump into Warriors Ascent, you'll understand what we're talking about. And then Friday, we made a promise as a cohort that we're going to stay in touch. And every single day we talk to those guys, and we joke around. We make fun of Carrie being barefoot all the time, which I've gone barefoot a couple times and I'm like, oh God. But just the connection and the support that we've gotten from Warriors Ascent, it's unbelievable. It That was my last shot, and 100% I knew that this was it, and I've and it's kind of hard for me to talk about, and I try to share this to the world now. It wasn't that long ago that I had the gun to my head and I pulled the trigger and it didn't go off. Thankfully, thank God it did not go off because I still have a lot of things to accomplish in this life, not only as a person but as a father. And when I tell you that Warriors Ascent gave me my life back, they did. And it's just not for the social media posts, it's not for the likes, it's not for the comments. It's for my 3 kids. Because I'm able to go to softball games, I'm able to go to baseball games, I'm able to go to the park, and I'm able to chase around my 3-year-old son and just be present, be a father. And when I say Warriors Ascent saved my life, it truly, truly, truly did. The impact that Warriors Ascent had on my life, kind of twofold. Personally, I am no longer in that self-destruct mode where it would be nothing for me to sit out in the garage and just pound the beers just so I could get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep because the night terrors were horrible. I couldn't sleep. Um, I used to keep a dictionary or a journal of all the people that I've lost in my career. And since then, I've burnt that. I don't want any part of that. I'm able to set my mind free from that. And on another personal level, it it allowed me to be present. Like when I came home Friday afternoonish, evening time, my kids were down at the park. They were playing, and I just kind of sat in my driveway, and I was like, it's gonna change. Like we're gonna be okay because now that I have this cohort that has my back if I fall, which I've fallen, and if somebody can tell you that they haven't had if they haven't had a setback, they need to be real with themselves, and that's the thing that Warriors Ascent has given me was the ability to sit back and analyze things before I just pop off and blow my gasket. It allows me to sit back and really think, okay, what's step 1 through step 10? And then we're going to think step 11 through however many steps and methodically think through this without just popping off and, telling, the anger side of me. On a professional level, it allowed me to really embrace the mission statement that Carrie kind of drove home to us that we really need. So it took me a little while to come up with one, and I sat there and I wrote it down a lot, and typed it out, deleted it, and I finally came up with a mission statement that's to provide a positive impact with every person I come in contact with, because I go to people on their worst days. I don't inflict their worst days. I just get to be a part of it because they call me for a reason. So if I can inflict just a little bit of positive impact on them, then my job is good. My job is done. Regardless of their emergency, if I can give them one little bit of positive impact, then that's what it's about. So since Warriors Ascent, I really have driven that mission statement every day of my life. I wake up and I tell myself that. I tell myself that in the mirror as I'm getting ready, as I'm putting on my uniform. Because when people see me, I don't want them to see me as Mike the paramedic. I want them to see me as Mike. Because there's so much more to me than just the uniform and the gold patch that says paramedic. It's regardless of their situation, they're going to get me. Sometimes throughout that contact that I'm with, they'll get the paramedic, but 95% of the time they're going to get Mike, and I'm going to provide that positive impact. If a loved one just passed away and I couldn't get them back, as bad as it sounds, I have to inflict a positive impact on them. Sorry, my little guy just came down. So that's what it's about. It's Warriors Ascent gave me the purpose and the drive. One for this guy. Because I have to be present. So that's the thing I loved about Warriors Ascent. So if I have any advice to give to a fellow veteran or first responder, if you ever question it and you find yourself in that hole where there's zero escape and you have tried everything, give Warriors Ascent a shot, because I have 3 kiddos that will tell you that it works. I have 11 comrades that I now call brothers that will tell you that it works. And I have numerous people at work that will tell you that they've seen the change and they know that Warriors Ascent works. Not only do I wear the shirt or the beads, I walk and talk Warriors Ascent because, like it was said in that class or the cohort, the Warriors ethos, and that really drove home. So if you ever question it, you feel like you're at that bottom of the barrel and nobody's jumping in, Warriors Ascent will jump in and they will give you the stepping ladder to get out of it. And it will forever change your life. And in a positive way, it will give you the tools that you need to make sure that we don't fall back into that hole. And it's just an amazing program.